Spins, loops and rolls. These are the basis of aerobatics, the art of flying an aeroplane to its limits of maneuverability. Developed by flyers in World War I to evade their pursuers, aerobatics play an important part in today's training of fighter pilots. For only by having complete mastery over a highly developed machine that's capable of traveling at more than 1,500 miles per hour can the jet-age pilot fly with absolute confidence. From the RAF's Central Flying School, which trains the RAF's flying instructors, the Red Pelicans take off for aerobatic practice. Flying these twin-seat 300-mile-per-hour jet training planes in tight formation aerobatics requires rigid discipline and iron nerves. Those spots before the pilot's eyes are flies on the windscreen. He edges up closer and closer to the planes ahead. Then they go into their first maneuver with the earth and sky spinning around. Every year, the RAF's aerobatic teams put on 50 performances at air shows at home and abroad. To the pilots, who all volunteer for the job, the most important person at an air show is the spectator. As the planes wheel and turn, they leave a trail of smoke so that every maneuver can be seen clearly from the ground. Fighter pilots joining an aerobatic squadron are given at least 6 months of constant formation aerobating at heights above 4,000 feet before they take part in an air show. On the day, this precision flying often brings the planes down to less than 1,000 feet. The object of an aerobatic display is to show a complete pattern of maneuvers with something to hold the spectator's attention all the time. As the wine glass maneuver is completed, the team quickly regroups for the bomb burst, which usually ends the display. For the flyers, formation aerobatics is hard work. Most pilots sweat off about 3 pounds in weight during a show. And can you wonder, when there are maneuvers like this one, the mirror they call it. One inverted plane flies a few feet above the other. Not all of Britain's aerobatists fly with the services. RAF test pilot Neil Williams, who works in the Ministry of Aviation Experimental Flying Department, spends most weekends at Britain's only flying club that specialises in aerobatics. It's the Tiger Club at Red Hill, Surrey. Formed in 1956, its pilot members must have more than 100 hours flying time and be tested to fly the specialised planes owned by the club. Like this Cosmic Wind, for instance, a tiny racing monoplane that's perfect for high-speed aerobatics. A complete roll takes a second. Then a tumble. The plane's thrown upwards, twisting, and then it falls. The club's 20 aircraft are booked well in advance by the 300 pilot members, who include airline captains, engineers, an antique dealer, shopkeepers and accountants. The Duke of Edinburgh is an honorary member. London advertising man James Gilbert spends as much as £10 a week flying with the club. He prefers to get airborne in the French-built Stomp, an ungainly-looking biplane that has the winged agility of a bat. With a top speed at level flight of just over 100 miles per hour, the Stomp, at 90 miles per hour, goes into a tumble and falls like a piece of paper. It's quite safe, providing the pilot remembers what to do next. Here's a new way of spending part of a Saturday afternoon, flying over the countryside upside down. The pilot hangs suspended by his straps. The plane above him feels very unstable, and the pilot has to remember that the controls will have a reverse effect on the aircraft. Mechanical engineer Nick Pocock, one of the Tiger Club's best aerobats, puts the Stomp into a maneuver called the avalanche. First a loop, then a flick roll. Aerobatics, incidentally, is an international competitive sport, with Hungary and Czechoslovakia producing more than their fair share of champions. Plenty of practice is the secret of good aerobatics. To encourage the sport, the Tiger Club gives air shows all over the country, where the pilots gain experience in displaying their aerobatic skill. Essex farmer Neville Browning, a pilot for more than 40 years, is a regular performer at these shows. More than 5,000 people came to this one at Rochester in Kent. Farmer Browning's speciality, a demonstration of crazy flying in a 1932 Tiger Moth. At a subsequent display, he crashed while doing the stunt and wrecked the plane. But he walked away with minor injuries, and today he's still flying with another plane. The tiny British-built Turbulents give a flower-bombing display. 80 miles per hour cruising speed, 35 miles to the gallon of petrol, this single-seat plane is the smallest aircraft manufactured in the world. Standing on the wing of a Tiger Moth, Canadian-born Alana Campbell, now a bookkeeper in London, shows the crowd just how steady an old-fashioned biplane can fly. But not everyone is impressed. Supported by a harness, and with the plane flying at about 75 miles per hour, Miss Campbell recently crossed the English Channel like this. Whether it's with a 30-year-old biplane that can turn in the tightest circle, or with the latest 1,500-mile-per-hour jet fighter, like these lightnings of the RAF's Firebird Squadron, aerobatics is flying at its most exciting. A sport which is fun for both spectator and pilot, and in which only the sky's the limit.